Chicago's #1 news, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 4:30 starts right now.
If they didn't know, now they know.
Now at 4:30, victory for Brandon Johnson. Voters chose him to be Chicago's next mayor. The long road ahead of him.
Plus, a recap of other major races around the city, including one that's too close to call.
First, though, eyes to the sky this morning. It's an AccuWeather Alert day. We've got the possibility of severe storms this morning. It is a busy Wednesday morning already. Good to be with you this morning. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner in for Tanya. Roz has traffic in a moment. But before we get to Tracey, here is a look at some of the damage from yesterday.
Yeah, damage was widespread across the area. The storms knocked down trees and power lines in Oak Park. The wind also tore shingles off of some roofs. Meanwhile, in Chicago's Hermosa neighborhood, some bricks fell from the side of a building. And Tracey, we could be looking possibly at more of this a little bit later on this morning.
We could, and of course yesterday we had so much hail. It was next to impossible to keep up with how rapidly the hail reports were coming in yesterday. But windy conditions for us all day. Now, storms that we get today are mainly going to be through these morning hours. All hazards will be possible. The main threats are going to be the high winds and the hail. Very warm start to the day, and temperatures are going to be falling later. So here's the radar right now. Quite a bit of lightning just on the north side, as well as across some of our northwest and northwest suburbs there. And we are paying attention to this. This is the line that we are going to monitor potentially to become severe around the area. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 o'clock this morning, and it paints over the whole entire area for the most part. We'll go through your complete forecast coming up. It's a really warm start out there. What kind of start is it on the roads? Roz can tell us.
The roads are not in bad shape right now. As you can see, we have very light volume, but I do want to focus on some airport delays and mostly cancellations. Starting with O'Hare, we've got 44 cancellations and 50 cancellations at Midway. Not so much with delays, but that's what you have to keep a lookout for, and always check before you go. Take a look outside at our tollway camera. Here's the tri-state near Waukegan. I'm really focusing on that band of storms Tracey's talking about near the Wisconsin state line, either at 94 or 90. So far, we're just looking at wet pavement. No big issues out there. Val and Terrell.
With our voices and our votes, we have ushered in a new chapter in the history of our city. My name is Brandon Johnson, and I can't wait to be sworn in.
Brandon Johnson claims victory in Chicago's mayoral race. He beat out Paul Vallis. It was a very tight race leading up to Election Day.
And right now, Johnson has a nearly 20,000 vote lead over Vallis. Last night, Vallis conceded to Johnson. Jessica D'Onofrio is live in Chinatown, where Johnson will appear later on today. Jess.
That's right, Val and Terrell. The mayor-elect will be here at the Red Line stop in Chinatown, shaking hands, greeting voters. That's set to happen at 7:45 this morning. Brandon Johnson celebrating his victory over Paul Vallis. The 47-year-old Cook County Commissioner has won the race to become the mayor of Chicago in a come-from-behind victory by a candidate who was largely unknown 6 months ago. The progressive Democrat facing the challenge of bringing together a city divided on how to deal with crime and other big issues. Last night he said he's ushering in a new chapter for the city.
The truth is, the people have always worked for Chicago. Whether you wake up early to open the doors of your businesses, or teach middle school, or wear a badge to protect our streets, or nurse patients in need, or provide child care services, you have always worked for this city. And now Chicago will begin to work for its people, all the people.
The former Chicago public school teacher was endorsed by the teachers union. The CTU's president releasing a statement saying, today Chicago has spoken. Chicago has said yes to hope, yes to investment in people, yes to housing the unhoused, and yes to supporting young people with fully funded schools. It's a new day in our city. Meanwhile, Democrat Paul Vallis, the former CPS CEO and city budget director, stood before a crowd of stunned supporters last night when he gave his concession speech.
It's time for all Chicagoans to put aside their differences and to walk and to work together, supporting the daunting work ahead for our next mayor.
Back here live, Brandon Johnson. Back here live, Brandon Johnson takes office next month. He will be sworn in on May 15th. Val and Terrell.
All right, Jessica, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Back here in the studio and at the board this morning, taking a look at how Brandon Johnson did it. And there was a poll that came out over the weekend that had Vallis breaking heavily for the Latino wards in the city. Turns out Brandon Johnson did pretty well, talking about the 22nd, 25th, and 26th wards down on the city's immediate south and southwest sides. Also, up north along the lakefront, the progressives, wards 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. And then, of course, Brandon Johnson swinging all of the west side wards and the south side wards. Paul Vallis doing well up on the northwest side and the immediate southwest sides. Wards that include, of course, a large number of police officers and firefighters. Also Ward 11, Chinatown, Bridgeport, and then the wealthier North Lakefront downtown area. And just a little bit north of that, Val.
And Terrell, speaking of Chicago's 11th ward, incumbent Alderman Nicole Lee will keep her seat after last night's runoff. The 11th ward covers part of the southwest side, including the Chinatown neighborhood. Here's a look at the results. You can see it there. Lee winning over her opponent there, 62 to 38%. Lee was appointed last year after previous Alderman Patrick Daley Thompson was convicted on federal corruption charges. She becomes the city's first elected Chinese American alderperson.
I stand on so many shoulders. This path, I may be considered a trailblazer right now, but so many other people blazed a trail for me to be here today.
The 29th ward race could come down to the remaining mail-in ballots. Right now, it is just too close to call. Here's a look at what we know right now. A less than 200 vote difference between incumbent Alderman Chris Taliaferro and challenger CB Johnson. Alderperson Taliaferro almost avoided a runoff in February. Johnson is a longtime community organizer who's supported by Congressman Danny Davis. Both candidates say they're confident that they'll prevail in the end.
Didn't have enough overtime, but let me tell you, I'm an old ball player. I played baseball for many years. Anytime you went to extra innings, you work, you win.
I won't be comfortable until the 18th. That's when all the mail-in ballots will be counted.
Johnson's campaign says they believe there are still more than 700 outstanding vote-by-mail applications yet to be returned.
In the race for Joliet Mayor, incumbent Mayor Bob Odenkirk has conceded to challenger Terry Darcy. The results show Darcy with a strong lead over Odenkirk, and he spoke to his supporters last night.
Results were not what we wanted tonight. I called Terry Darcy and conceded to him. I told him I'd be willing to help him in the transition and want to see the city move forward. You know, I'm sad, and I feel like I let people down, but internally, I'm so proud of the work me and the city council were able to do the last 6 years.
I want to be the mayor for 150,000 people and all the businesses that are here. And I want to help lead us all in the future with everyone's guidance and partnership. So again, thank you so much for all your support.
Odenkirk had been running for a third term as Joliet mayor. A lot to talk about in these election results. We got you covered, as well as Brandon Johnson's full victory speech and Vallis's concession speech. It's all on our website, ABC7Chicago.com, and on our news app. And coming up in our next half hour, political analyst Laura Washington is going to be here to tell us what she thinks about all this.
Turning to the weather now, this is a video of a storm as it passed through the town of Bryant, Illinois, in Fulton County. Take a look at this. You can see how dark the sky is there. That's southwest of Peoria.
Yeah, the video shows extensive damage from yesterday's storm. Several homes were damaged and power lines are down this morning. One resident told us what happened.
Babysitting my grandchildren, and they said take cover, and we went to the basement. We come out and we got somebody shed in our yard, and we walked uptown and we're helping pass out water and stuff. There's a lot of damage here in Bryant. So.
Yeah, even with the damage, and this is always the best news in a situation like this, no one was hurt.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Tracey because she's standing right now by with your AccuWeather forecast. Tracey.
Thank you, Val and Terrell. Good morning, everybody. Yes, and out in Fulton County yesterday and counties out in west central Illinois, there were tornado warnings, tornado reports there. How about here at home? Well, right now we do have some isolated storms in the area. They will become more numerous probably after about 6 o'clock this morning. Between about 6 and 7 is when we should start to see kind of this line we're watching move into some of our far western suburbs. The main threats are going to be damage damaging winds and large hail. There is a tornado threat. I will say it's been scaled back just a wee bit. The highest threat for that to occur is going to be along in the east of I-55. But once again, damaging winds, large hail are going to be our biggest, most concerning issues, and we had that yesterday. Other notes do include gusty, non-storm winds likely through the day, especially as this front goes through, and we're going to get some falling temperatures this afternoon. So until 11 o'clock this morning, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, and there are no warnings in effect at this time, but we are looking at quite a bit of lightning. If you're up around the Niles area or in Winnetka, that's where you are seeing quite a bit of lightning at this moment. If you're in Evanston, you're probably seeing some flashes of lightning there as well. So here is this line that we are keeping an eye on. Greg is here with me this morning. Hisol is here with me this morning. And so we're all really keeping a close watch on how that does develop. We're under an enhanced risk for severe weather here in Chicago, areas off to the east as well. So this means we could still get numerous severe storms into the region. So here's the futurecast. So it's kind of nailing some of these storms off to the north this morning, but that line is what we're kind of waiting for. Now, notice it's not that enthusiastic about that line really impacting Chicago. I think it may be a little underdone on this, but it really does emphasize more impact, again, kind of east of I-55. Well, our highest threats, once again, are going to be the potential for strong winds and damaging hail. And of course, yesterday, we had so many great pictures and videos from our viewers, Jim in Oswego. Look at all the hail that fell yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised we get something like that today. Until 4 p.m., there will be a wind advisory that goes in effect. Now, this is primarily for the wind gusts that are going to come in behind the front. Right now, wind gusts are tolerable, 20, 25 miles per hour. At O'Hare, this is crazy. It's 72 degrees right now at O'Hare. It feels kind of muggy out there right now. 72 currently at Midway, 73 in Gary, and 69 degrees in Aurora. Today, we're calling it an AccuWeather Alert Day. It's mainly the morning time frame we are monitoring for the possibility of severe storms. Let's hear what Roz is monitoring this morning.
And you know, Tracy, I feel like this literally is the calm before the storm, because we are not seeing any problems or issues on any of the expressways or tollways. Same thing in Northwest Indiana. Everything is moving well. 8094, I-90, the toll road 65. We have no problems through the construction zones there. Back on the Illinois side, speaking of construction zones, there's the Kennedy. No issues there. Really, the only thing that we've been talking about are some airport cancellations. No issues with Metro or CTA. Take a look at our tollway camera. This time around, we're up by the Wisconsin border on I-90. So everything there. Again, we see wet pavement, but very light volume and no hazards at the moment. But we will monitor this throughout the morning. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Time now 4:42. Coming up, we are hearing from former President Donald Trump as he responds to his indictment on several charges.
Plus, what we're learning about the Chicago firefighter killed in the line of duty. We'll be right back.
We're watching Eyewitness News this morning.
Now to Donald Trump and that historic day in court.
Yeah, this morning the former president is talking about the sweeping indictment against him. ABC's Morgan Norwood is live in New York with now where things stand this morning. Morgan, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Terrell. Val, former President Trump is defiant, his usual defiance, right? It was almost like a political battle cry as he vows to push ahead with his campaign for the White House amid this historic case.
This morning, former President Trump reacting for the first time to the dozens of felonies he faces. Seething with defiance, Trump rallied his loyal supporters at Mar-a-Lago, calling the charges an insult to the country.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
The former president, arriving to court via police motorcade, quickly hustled into the courthouse by Secret Service, where he pleaded not guilty to 34 state felony charges that he repeatedly and fraudulently falsified New York business records to conceal criminal conduct that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 presidential election.
A catch and kill scheme. That is a scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election.
A charge of falsifying business records is typically a misdemeanor in New York, but the charge can be upgraded to a felony if it's tied to another crime, such as tax or campaign finance violations.
It's shocking to me that a state prosecutor would try and prosecute something as thin as this and prosecute a violation of federal election laws when they're state prosecutors.
The district attorney's office had looked into this case before, but DA Alvin Bragg saying he's bringing the case now because of new evidence, but he did not elaborate. Trump's legal team calling it political persecution. The court proceedings, a historic first for a sitting or former American president, concluded in just under 1 hour.
He was reserved, he was calm.
Judge Juan Merchan did not place a gag order on the case, but he did advise Trump to refrain from making statements that are likely to incite violence.
So from here, Trump is due back in this Manhattan courthouse on December 4th. We're looking at potentially January as for a trial. Of course, all of this will be in the heat of the election season 2024. Terrell, Val.
All right, so Morgan, before we let you go, what happens next here?
Yeah, well, lawyers for Trump have vowed to have legal challenges within days, right? One of their main issues is that you've got a state prosecutor, looking into a federal election violation that they say technically doesn't exist. So we expect immediate challenges in the days ahead and certainly leading up to that December 4th court date. Guys?
All right, Morgan Norwood, live in New York City. Thank you. Chicago is remembering a fallen firefighter who lost his life in the line of duty. And there was a solemn procession yesterday for 49-year-old Jermaine Pelt. He was battling a large house fire yesterday morning near 120th and Wallace when conditions got worse. A mayday was called and Pelt was found unresponsive. Jermaine's father got the call and rushed over to the far south side station where his son worked.
Jermaine was just a joy to all our family. Everybody loved him.
2 other firefighters were hurt in that fire. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Check out these videos right here from storms in Iowa. Yeah, unbelievable. Several people capture possible tornadoes. This happening near Des Moines.
Look at this tornado.
Some of them also got real close.
Yeah.
Maybe too close.
That's what I was about. It's amazing, and I'm guessing this is from a storm chaser.
Yeah,
so they
that's
know what
what
they're doing. Yeah, but it's amazing to take a look at these storms when they're actually on the ground like this and what they look like. 4:50 this morning, weather and traffic, and I know that this is going to be the kind of thing today, Tracy, that you're going to be looking out for this morning.
We are going to be looking out for that, but we're also monitoring something that we had a lot of yesterday, and that was large hail. And I think that could be one of our biggest threats again with storms this morning. Take a look out to the west. There's an incredible light show going on with this line of storms that is going to continue to progress eastward. Yes, we have some lightning visible around Niles right now and Evanston, but the main line that we have been referencing really since yesterday is in eastern Iowa, just crossing the state line right now, and that is poised to start to come into some of our far western suburbs after about 6 o'clock this morning. There is a severe thunderstorm watch. It is in effect until 11 a.m. today, because that's really the time frame between now and 11 a.m. when we are are expecting the greatest potential for strong to severe storms. These temperatures are ridiculous. We're well above the average high for the day. It's 68 degrees right now in Crystal Lake. You have 71 in Coal City, and over in Northwest Indiana, the warmth continues too, with temperatures there that are in the 60s and 70s as well. Well, today we are anticipating just a very warm start to the day, and we are looking at those temperatures falling off as we go through the afternoon. As for tomorrow, things will quiet down, and it is going to feel a lot colder too. Let's check in with Roz with what's going on in her department.
And Tracy, we've got 2 new crashes. The first one is inbound on the Dan Ryan just before the Skyway, and it is starting to show a bit of a backup there. We've got 2 lanes blocked at the moment, and then we've got a crash on the Tri-State. This is going to be right around Toohey. It's on the southbound side as you approach Toohey, and we can see the squad car on our tollway camera. It's not causing any delays, but now it looks like we might have a couple of lanes blocked. They've got one of the help trucks out there with the arrow boards. So yes, they are going to block a couple of lanes so they can clear that. But again, traffic volume is very light, so it is not causing any issues at the moment. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Time now, 4:52. Coming up, the deadline quickly approaching that could help you save on your summer vacation. We'll be right back.
Watch your trusted team at 4 with Judy Sue, Rob Elgas, and meteorologist Larry Murray. ABC7 Eyewitness News at 4.
All right, so today is the last day to take advantage of a Southwest Airlines deal that lets your friend fly free. You got to be signed up with the airline's frequent flyer program.
Okay, so once you book a flight before May 24th, a Buddy Pass will appear in your account. The Buddy Pass will work on unlimited flights between August 15th and September 30th, but you must sign up today. So basically, if I sign up and I get the Buddy Pass in my account, if I book a flight between August 15th and September 30th, you can fly for free.
Whoa! And how many flights? Like unlimited?
It says unlimited. I gotta double check.
You gotta ask on that one, right? Because otherwise, we going some places.
Well, then who's gonna work?
Tracey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's working hard already today. Know, right? So, yeah, there we go. Tracey's like, what?
You need the vacation, actually.
I want to go on this trip. Hey, you know what? I do want to focus on this because we did just get this information in. Tornado warning, not for our area, well west of I-39, but back around Kewanee, as you can see. This is in effect until 5:15 this morning. So these are the kind of things we're watching. Surrounding that, there are severe thunderstorm warnings in many of the areas that had damage and severe weather yesterday. Right now, nothing severe here. Watching for some more scattered showers and a couple moderate bursts of rain off to the south. But it is out to the west where there is just an intense light show going on, just crossing the state line, as you can see. It's a narrow line, too, but it does continue to kind of expand well southwest of Chicago. Severe thunderstorm watch. As of right now, this is in effect until 11 o'clock this morning. So between now and 11 a.m., this is really the window of opportunity for us to get any severe weather. Val and Terrell.
All right. Thank you, Tracey. Time now, 4:56. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 5, a recap of yesterday's election. Brandon Johnson victorious in his race to be Chicago's next mayor.